Do not speak another word to this man if you wish to keep my company.
It's a great accent, by the way. What is it, Brooklyn?
Hey, fuck you, all right?
Hello, hello. This is the Doom Show. Richard, Brad, Jeffrey, Naffa. It's the Doom Show. Hello, hello. This is the Doom Show. Slashers, giallo, and horror. It's the Doom Show. The cuckoo clock interrupts the show. Doomed Moviethon. Death of the old salesman. Sweaty Cameron Mitchell. Hello, hello. This is the Doom Show. Richard, Brad, Jeffrey, Naffa. It's the Doom Show. It's the Doomed Show. Doomed Show.
All right. You there? Can you hear me? Uh-oh, I can't hear you. Connection problems. Hello and welcome to Hello, This is the Doom Show. I am Richard. Folks, returning for, I believe, his third appearance on the show, Scott McDonald of EuroCultAV.com. Hello, Scott.
Actually, this is my fourth appearance, but the second you'll never hear.
I know. We broke it.
Yeah, we were so awesome we destroyed it.
I'm glad that we already have an echo from Skype. Oh, wait.
Is it echoing?
Oh, no. It stopped. It was echoing and then it stopped. We'll see.
We were just being that awesome.
We were being amazing. We fixed Skype after breaking it.
Yeah.
We'll see how far we get tonight, folks.
Fucking Skype.
Yeah, oh God. So, folks, Scott picked a movie. Scott, what film did you pick for us to talk about?
Clive Barker's 1995 Lord of Illusions.
Yes, released on August 25th, 1995. I'm going to go ahead and play a trailer for this film right I was pretending Skype broke again, just to mock it. Here's the trailer.
Something is watching. Something is listening. Something is coming.
How would you like to see the world the way it really is?
What's going on here? Detective Harry Damour is walking a path.
I want you to help me. Will you take the job, Mr. Damour?
Where do I sign up?
Between what can be seen.
People are dying here. I want to know why. I've heard a name. Somebody they talk about in whispers. Who? Nix.
And what must be feared.
Nix is dead and buried. What the hell is wrong with you people?
Haven't you seen enough to know that doesn't matter?
Now.
I don't want him getting in the way. We've always waited too long to have the homecoming spoiled.
Every step he takes.
The drone. The dark side. You don't like that.
Not much.
It's your destiny. Accept it.
Brings him closer to the truth.
He could get into people's heads, make them see things. Terrible things.
See, that's his best trick. No illusions, just the truth.
If Nix is back from the dead, then he is some kind of a god.
In a world where magic is real, death is the ultimate illusion.
I was born to murder the world. Are you ready for my wisdom?
It's not real. Stop looking at me!
Next! You want to come with me, Damour? I've got so much power to give you. All you have to do is beg.
Clive Barker's Lord of Illusions.
Okay, so I'm giggling in my heart. I'm also giggling in my eyes because, folks, we are not going to do the plot letter by letter because this movie's crazy as balls. We are going to just... I'm going to read... I actually got this little blurb from the back of the VHS tape. Now, I don't have the VHS tape. I used eBay to get what I want, like I like to do. So I'm going to read to you. This is the plot description from the original VHS of Lord of Illusions.
Actually, insanely curious about this.
Scott Bakula of Quantum Leap portrays Harry D'Amour, a private detective visiting Los Angeles on a routine investigation. Harry gets more than he bargained for when he encounters Philip Swan, Kevin J. O'Connor, a performer whose amazing illusions captivate the world. But are they really illusions? Harry isn't so sure as he's thrust into a nightmare of murder, deception, and terrifying assaults from the dark beyond. The thrills, chills, and all-consuming passion build with each shocking twist, culminating in a horrific battle for the fate of all mankind. And that's what's on the back of the VHS tape.
I'm now looking for my Blu-ray. I'm hoping that I think Scream Factory improved on that.
So Scream Factory, they put out the nicey nice version.
Yes, they did.
Now it has both the regular and the I almost said unleaded, the regular version, the theatrical cut, and the director's cut on that disc.
I think it's just the director's cut. Let me check.
Because I noticed that there's about a 13-minute difference between what they claim is the theatrical, or at least the original DVD versus the unrated. Because I grabbed the MGM unrated director's cut, which is 2 hours and 1 minute versus 108 minutes.
The Scream version is just the theatrical cut on disc 1, and disc 2 is a new transfer of Clive Barker's director's cut.
Gotcha. Because, man, that MGM DVD looked a little shitty.
You know what? The description, if the website, Scream's website, has anything to base it off of, because I'm surrounded by stacks of Blu-rays, so I'm not going to find my copy right off the bat.
Right.
Is almost spot on from your VHS. Almost.
Wow.
So it's really funny that they kept that.
Nice. So yeah, this was directed by good old Clive Barker. He's returning to Hello, This is the Doom Show after Knopf and I triumphantly fought off Rawhead Rex. Although, can you really win against Rawhead Rex? No.
Yeah.
No, you can't win. He's a sex god, just like Clive Barker.
You would know from experience?
Yes.
So we got Scott Bakula, and Famke Janssen is in this as well. We've also got frickin' Daniel von Bargen and Kevin J. O'Connor and Barry Del Sherman. Good night, folks. That's all we got. I mean, okay, so what the VHS tape left out is that there's a cult led by Nix, or Daniel von Bargen, and in 1982 in the Mojave Desert, which they're having this really like terrible Tupperware party, and Barry Del Sherman plays Butterfield, and he's in short shorts. He actually looks really hot in his short shorts.
Very stylish.
It's just, that look never gets old. I mean, he's basically dressed like, I don't know, like Anne Margaret or something.
Totally like Anne Margaret.
So Kevin J. O'Connor, who plays Swan, he shows up, and he's been part of this cult that Nix has started, but he's pissed off because he wants to ascend to power. So he shows up with a bunch of, I guess, a splinter group from this cult with a bunch of guns, and there's a baboon.
I got the impression that it was because they kidnapped the little girl and they thought that was like pushing it too far,
Exactly.
which, I thought, having a creepy death cult was pushing it a bit too far, but no, kidnapping the girl was.
And we're assuming that they're going to sacrifice this little girl, but all they really do is terrorize her with the aforementioned baboon.
Which was fucking hysterical, let's be honest.
It's, I'm afraid of all monkeys. It's like some people are afraid of clowns. I am terrified of monkeys.
So, phenomena?
Yes, especially disturbing when they have straight razors.
I knew you'd come. I've got so much power to give you, Swan. All you have to do is beg.
Fuck you.
You don't think that I've got it to give?
No.
You're wrong. My great fucking soul.
The girl, the young girl in question, she's the first one to betray good old Nix by actually shooting him. Up until now, everyone's just talking. But then there's a lot of shooting.
Nix is still in control. I mean, he's got like this illusionary power. He's like controlling Swan
by sticking his fingers in his head. And so, yeah, they bind him and bury him. They have this shootout, and Swan wins. He's going to steal all the magical powers from Mr. Illusionist Nix. So he binds him with Pinhead's, what is it when you have when you have sleep apnea? They use the sleep apnea device from Pinhead to, like...
It's basically an Iron Man.
Yeah.
Screws on the dude, uses a few drips of blood.
Yeah.
Basically the Mask of Satan.
I almost had a joke, but I couldn't think of what those things are called.
Yeah, no, I can't remember.
Nix is a bad guy, so it's okay, but then you have to wonder, how good is Swan? Next thing you know, it's 13 years later in New York City.
And we're introduced to the great Scott Bakula.
I refer to him in my notes as Scott Barracuda, because the only word cooler than Bakula is Barracuda.
Very true. And Bakula is playing Harry D'Amour, and Harry D'Amour is one of Clive Barker's most famous characters.
Yep. The detective, the noir detective. Okay. Naf and I almost recorded an episode about Transmutations, which is a film that Clive Barker wrote, and what made me turn it off, and we completely bailed on watching it, was the noir-style detective. So essentially, Harry D'Amour drove me from Transmutations into the loving arms of the Lord of Illusions.
I had I did not realize that Transmutations and the...
Oh God, it's bad.
This is a very film noir influence.
Which I don't mind, I don't mind that, but it's much more successful here. The film noir, whoever jackhole idiot was playing D'Amour in the other movie, if it was even named D'Amour, I just know that it was the same.
He wasn't.
It was the same character. Definitely the same character under a different name, and it was terrible.
D'Amour actually was first in The Last Illusion.
Right. Which
is a short story from the late 80s in Books of Blood, Volume 6. Yep. And then he started appearing in the late 90s and stuff like The Great and Secret Show, Everville.
I looked up, I do not remember The Last Illusion story at all, so I looked up a description of the story and what was different between The Lord of the Illusions, the film, and then The Last Illusion story.
They always cite it's coming from Books of Blood, Volume 6.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the title memorized. They're upstairs. But Books of Blood, the actual title you can pull up the shelf that says Books of Blood, it's only volumes 1 to 3.
Right.
Volumes 4 through 6 are in some other titled collection, and it doesn't... I can't remember what the other title is, but it's not Books of Blood.
Yeah, it's confusing. There's actually a really long article someone did comparing the two. There wasn't enough in the short story to make a complete movie. It would have needed padding. So, of course, when Clive Barker developed this idea from the short story. He just went off on a tangent, like ran with names and a general situation, then filled it up.
Well, it's kind of amazing. If you look at all the Books of Blood, volumes 1 through 6, so many of them have been turned into feature-length films over the years. Midnight Meat Train, Kitamura did that a few years ago. I think around 2010 they made Dread into one.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard rumors of Pig's Blood Blues getting made into something. Rawhead Rex, that was a Books of Blood. I think that was in volume 1 or 2.
Soon to be a remake, penned by one Nafa.
What's her name? The former editor of Rue Morgue, Jovanka. She's directing Jacqueline S. So,
see, I'm not familiar with. I mean, like I read Books of Blood in like the early '90s, and then I read Cabal, and I think I almost got through Damnation Game, and I bailed on Great and Secret Show when it got too sprawling.
I read Great and Secret Show, Cabal, Hellbound Heart, the Books of Blood. I think I read The Thief of Always, and then I tried reading this the Aberrat stuff, and oh fuck, I hated the Aberrat stuff. At the time, Harry Potter and that teen fiction thing started getting popular. He decided to throw his hat in the ring, and
oh no,
it's sort of funny. Like, it reads like a regular Clive Barker book, but like, and even like the sexual elements are there. But it's like he's trying very hard to tone them down for a teen audience.
It's like, man, don't try and change for that market. Just forget it.
Well, it's funny. Like, one of his closest analogs is from the early '90s is like Neil Gaiman, and if you read like Neil Gaiman stuff, he could flow seamlessly almost between like adult fiction and then children's literature, not just. So like Coraline.
He's more versatile.
Right, but Clive Barker, shit, man, he can't write children's stuff.
Too far gone, man. Too far gone.
No, I mean, I read his new book, Scarlet Gospels, last year. And it's like supposed to be the end of Pinhead. Right. And shit, man, that guy can still write horror like it's no one's business. I mean, the first chapter in that has like more disturbing stuff per page than any horror movie I've seen in the last 5 years.
We find out that Harry D'Amour is, he's not just your normal detective, he's kind of a supernatural detective. He gets himself into all kinds of kooky situations, such as he's coming off of an exorcism case with a kid was possessed by a demon. It looked like an albino demon, which we'll see later in a dream sequence. Like, his worst fears will be thrown back in his face by Nyx. But he's hired by some joker to go out to L.A. and find out if someone is pulling an insurance scam, which is kind of my favorite scene in the movie. He's watching by the pool area of a hotel, and he's looking up, and there's a guy with 2 hookers blatantly about to have sex with them or post-coital with these hookers dancing in front of his open window.
That was hysterical.
I mean, that scene, I was like, gee, man, L.A., right? Like...
Clive Barker's L.A.
I've been to San Diego, and it's really boring. It looks like Tampa, so who cares?
Actually, you're right. I've been to both LA and San Diego is a very close approximation of Tampa.
Tampa with mountains.
Right.
So while he's following this insurance scam guy, he stumbles into a fortune teller who has been viciously stabbed with lots of scalpels. And he gets bitten by a skinhead, which I don't know if you've ever been bitten by a skinhead, Scott.
I actually have to think about that for a second.
Yeah, it stings, and it's the venom from your North American skinhead is really potent, so you have to just check yourself into a hospital immediately.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. And he gets drunk or something, and he's contacted by a man who represents Philip Swan and his wife Dorothea Swan, and this is Kevin J. O'Connor and Famke Janssen. what's happening here is that Butterfield... Butterfield, played by Barry Dale Sherman. He is the most devoted follower of Nick's, and he believes he can bring him back. So he is coming after everyone who betrayed Nick's, and of course he's coming after Swanee Pooh. Folks, this movie, I mean, I feel like I'm on the precipice of murder mansioning this movie. Thank God I stopped taking notes, because this is going to happen where a little thing's going to happen and you're going to go on a long journey to the next little thing that happens. I mean, the next thing you know, you're in a magician's club making friends with the magician so you can schmooze with other magicians. And then there's lots of dialogue of the difference between magicians and illusionists. But I digress. Scott, help me out here. What is going on?
Okay, so the fortune teller was Quaid.
Yes, one of the people who betrayed Nick's.
Right. So he basically had to die because he killed the Charles Manson of magic. And angry Butterfield had to kill him.
Yes. Describe Butterfield now that it's the 90s. What is Butterfield's new look?
Aryan?
Yeah, Aryan, but with gold snakeskin pants.
Yeah, he's definitely changed it up a bit.
Yeah, he's a millennial hipster way ahead of his time.
Totally.
I mean, it's like skinny jeans on crack. It's amazing. I immediately compare this guy, Butterfield, to Cronenberg's serial killer in Nightbreed.
And that's accurate.
Like, that's one of the things I love about Barker is that when he has not the main villain, but usually a stooge. Was Cronenberg the main villain in Nightbreed? Was there a main villain other than human beings in Nightbreed?
You could almost classify... I mean, basically, he was almost like the antagonist of the secondary plot. Okay, we're going to digress to Nightbreed for just a split second. So, hey, you got part of a Nightbreed episode here. You had Cronenberg's character in Nightbreed. I mean, the first bit you see of him is basically convincing his patient that he is fucking insane, and that he needs to, start taking some medicine. The next scene, he butchers a family. Basically, you're setting him up as, the villain.
Yeah.
Right from the get-go. This murderous plot, happening parallel to the main, Nightbreed Midian story.
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting coincidence because there's 90 things going on in this movie. Okay, with the director's cut, it's 96.
Admittedly, that's the kind of thing that I like about certain movies. Like, with Lord of Illusions, it's like, you can't kind of predict its trajectory.
No. This Butterfield character, he's very creepy. He's definitely unsettling. He's not quite as... God, he's just... I'm trying to describe him without just talking about myself, So, Dorothea hires D'Amour to investigate what she thinks is this dangerous element that she's not quite sure of that's coming after Swan. One of the things that happens is the last card that Quaid was about to pull was the swords. I guess it's just the swords card where you have someone impaled on a bunch of swords.
You know what? I'm not a superstitious person.
The thing with Swan is that he has taken this ability to create illusions, and he's made it into a very profitable magical act in Los Angeles.
Which already makes him smarter than Nick's. I mean,
right.
Taking over the world, making $1 million.
Exactly. He's not living in squalor with a bunch of hippies. He's, a millionaire. She encourages D'Amour to come to Swan's final show in Los Angeles. And the show starts, and I wrote in my notes, so Swan's stage show is the music video for Duran Duran's Wild Boys?
Did Chris Angel come after this, or was he inspired by Swan?
But he has a frickin' thing called Lord of Illusions. There's an episode, and I did not watch this, I swear, I just Googled it. There's an episode of Chris Angel called Lord of Illusions where he actually does the trick with the swords.
Are you fucking kidding?
That's what the description on IMDb said. So, there is one fan of this movie, besides you, sir, and it is Chris Angel. Mind freak.
Oh my god. I've only seen like half an episode of that show, and I was in a hotel room once. And I was like, that's enough.
This guy's amazing. It's sort of a sword of Damocles kind of a thing where, or swords, plural, of Damocles, where Swan is laid out on a spinning thing, and above him is another spinning thing with swords on it. And the swords start falling, and they start stabbing him, like he's supposed to be able to get out of this trick, or get out of this Houdini-style thing. But the swords are stabbing him. And it's sword stab, sword stab, sword stab. And I wrote in my notes, what the fuck am I watching? This is where the movie started to lose me. Because, spoiler alert, folks, we're going to spoil this movie. This is your last warning. Or, no, this is your first and last warning. I knew Swan was faking his death so that he could avoid... Because he's very scared of Nyx coming back. So, obviously, he is faking this. And then after he's dead, quote-unquote, Harry D'Amour goes to the Magic Castle. What's the sign for the place he goes to? What does it say on it?
I can't remember. Sorry.
It says the Magic Castle, Scott.
I thought there was something that I missed. I knew it said the Magic Castle.
It says the Magic Castle.
I thought it was going to be like open 24 hours.
All magic, all the time.
Right, you know.
I went ahead and compared, because I was like, I didn't do this during the movie. I did this today while preparing for whatever it is I'm about to do. And I found someone who compared all of the deleted scenes that are in the director's cut versus the theatrical version. And this whole sequence was cut, where he meets with a bunch of magicians, and it's him finding out little things about Swan. And he kind of makes a buddy with one of the magicians, and they're going to break into the place to see what is in the repository. The repository is where all the real magical objects are. Oh boy. I swear I'm almost out of plot. The movie is not out of plot. I'm running out of notes about the plot. So I'm trying to piece together what's going on here. Then one of my least favorite things in movies happens, where Harry has a dream and we see things that we've already seen. Like, he's starting to put the case together, but the whole dream is just a clip show of stuff that's happened. And I was like, no. I hate to put you on the spot, Scott. I hope you know that I do appreciate how fucking insane this movie is.
Okay, you're talking about like the CGI fire creature.
I haven't even gotten there yet.
Let me change it. The origami fire creature.
Origami Transformers. That's what I called them.
So I know we're past the Magic Castle now. We're getting into the obligatory sex scene.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you for mentioning that. Now Clive Barker, he may not know what straight people do in bed. He definitely thinks that straight people don't move during sex, because Famke Janssen and Scott Bakula are just clutching each other and not moving, which I thought was amazing.
You know, I can't actually say that Clive Barker is any better or worse than some things. Have you ever seen Phantasm 2?
Oh, yes.
Where there's a sex scene between Reggie Bannister and the one woman in the film. And the entire time they have their underwear on. So.
Yes, and there's a lot of screaming and moaning in that, I believe. Right. It's very violent.
Never comes off.
Very violent sex. Well, yeah, you keep it on. That's safe sex.
That's no sex. So, you know, at least Clive Barker shows...
Well, here's what's great. Famke Janssen, totally not going to do a nude scene. Her nude scene is very tasteful. She's laying on her side, and then she has her arm over her breast, so we can't see. But what's the point, Famke Janssen? Her character doesn't own anything that isn't see-through. Like, every scene that Famke Janssen's in, with a few exceptions, she's completely nude under a sheer piece of cloth that you could see through. Oh my god. Not complaining, but I thought it was funny.
But it was in the contract, so.
Exactly. Scott Bakula has a tattoo, a fake tattoo on his back. And I read in the trivia that he did research on his character and determined that his character had that tattoo.
Here's the thing I don't understand, because, okay, Harry D'Amour, okay, if you read even like in the Scarlet Gospels, it's described he's now covered, head to toe in these tattoos that are supposed to ward off various sorts of evil, right? So now it's not just one tattoo, it's like he's sleeves, back, front, neck, everything, right? Lots of evil in the world, right? But it's like, so the director is Clive Barker, the writer is Clive Barker. Mm-hmm. The person who wrote the books is fucking Clive Barker. So it's like Scott Bakula picks up a Clive Barker book, realizes his character has a tattoo, goes to Clive Barker and says, hey, this character you wrote had a tattoo. Should I get a back tattoo so I look like the character you wrote?
All I wrote is that as far as his tattoo goes, I really hope it's not real.
Right. I mean, I read that trivia too, looking for stuff for this movie. And I'm like, that makes no sense.
He went Method Man. Now that he and Dorothea have made the sex act, as I like to call it.
Act is pretty right.
They are suddenly attacked by the first origami transformer.
The origami fire demon.
The origami fire demon, which I think was part of the Dinobots or something. Like, the CGI, now, primitive CGI, there's been some cool shit. Early in the movie, when Nick sticks his fingers in Swan's head, we see the faces of his friends melt away, and there's this dripping thing, and they did it all digitally. And it doesn't look good, but it looks cool.
Right.
This doesn't look good or cool.
It didn't blend. It's like they didn't take the time to blend it into the background.
Not even trying.
It looks like something like an old Doctor Who effect, with
the pill from Stendhal syndrome. Do you remember when Asia Argento takes the pill and
yes.
We follow the pill down her gullet, and it's the most horrific CGI garbage. Do
you know what's sad about that? You know what's really sad about that? I remember I've only seen it a couple times. I've got the Troma DVD. I need to upgrade it to the Blue Underground.
You must. It's essential.
Lloyd Kaufman in the introduction.
That you can't skip.
Well, of course not, because it's Lloyd Kaufman. No, he brags that pill scene in the Stendhal syndrome, and I think the scene where she goes to a door or something metaphysically. Mm-hmm. It's like over a decade since I've seen that movie. More the first use of CGI in an Italian movie, and I'm thinking to myself watching it, well, no shit.
It was also the last time they gave up after that. Well, I hope they did. Oh, wait, you know what? You know what the next big breakthrough was? That train station in Dracula 3D. Did you?
Oh, God. Dracula 3D, and I just got to get this out there, is like the biggest budget Jess Franco film that Jess Franco never made.
Yeah, Jess Franco was he turned it down. Or was he dead? No, he turned it down. He said, I ain't doing that damn praying mantis. That's stupid.
He did vampires better than that.
I'm Jess Franco. If there isn't someone masturbating in a tub of bloody water, then I don't see how it's a frickin' vampire movie. And he was right, damn it. Okay, so according to my notes, which are actually, I'm almost out of notes already, I'm at the 1 hour and 23 minute mark.
Wow.
And
that's deep.
I'm about to turn the movie off. Now, why did I want to turn the movie off? Because Lietta picked up the DVD and told me that this was 121 minutes. And I was so sick of being ramrodded around this movie's plot. However, there's a reason I stuck through this, Scott. Because this is weird as balls.
Exactly.
This movie, aside from being weird and sort of like a magnificent failure of the director to adapt himself, I also started to imagine that this was an Australian film.
Really?
Because Australians are crazy. No offense to Australia, but you're crazy, and your movies, they're all crazy.
Stunt rock.
I'm telling you, just any Australian movie is insane. Oh my God, you invoked the stunt rock.
I invoked the stunt rock.
So yeah, I started to imagine that this was Australia, and that really helped me get through it. I also like to pretend that LA Confidential is a prequel to this movie.
Oh, that's great.
The characters in LA Confidential are like Nick's and Swan's parents. That helped.
That's insane. I think this movie's batshit insane, but on another level, I'm gonna just spout up a very controversial opinion
Bring
here.
it.
I think this is Clive Barker's best movie. I'm sorry, bar none.
Nice. Interesting.
You know what? I waited over a decade to revisit Nightbreed. Mm-hmm. And I finally got a hand on the director's cut, and it's like, okay, there's some really gorgeous scenery here. You stuck in a 5-minute scene of someone singing bad folk music. I'm not sure that was fucking necessary. David Cronenberg is badass, but overall, that doesn't really work for me. And Hellraiser...
Hold on.
What?
Love Hellraiser.
I like Hellraiser.
I'm living La Vida Hellraiser. I love that fucking movie.
I went about 10 years without seeing it, 15 years without seeing it. I watched it again last year, and it was way better to me this time than it was 15 years ago. That being said, it felt like a little bit like, like a horror coming out party for Clive Barker. You know what I mean?
Multiple reasons.
Yeah, well, he wanted to stick everything he could. You kind of see the seams this time. And Hellraiser 2, even though it wasn't his movie directly, it felt more coherent and more, put together. Yeah. And so it's kind of one of those where the sequel kind of turns the volume up in the original and actually improves upon it.
My thing with Nightbreed is that I loved it as a kid. I rented it a bunch of times as a kid. I have never had an urge to watch it since I was a kid. I will tell you right now, I'm never going to watch the director's cut based on this director's cut. And then I'm never going to watch that 145-minute composite cut with the VHS stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can't see that. That was just something he toured around some...
Oh, okay. See, I thought someone released that. So I'm going to sum up the last 30, 40 minutes real quick here. Nyx is indeed trying to come back, thanks to Butterfield, who has been murdering people. The best sequence that was actually cut was a sequence where all of Nyx's followers awaken. They kill their families, sometimes including children, and then start making their way out to the Mojave Desert to meet up with Butterfield and try to resurrect Nyx finally. And Butterfield kidnaps Dorothea, and we find out that, yes, Swan is still alive. He has the worst disguise ever.
Oh, he attends his own funeral, which is the exact way, if you're going to hide and, fake your own death, best way to do that, attend your own funeral in a pair of shades.
Nice.
And then perform magic to the detective that's been, stalking your case.
Now, this, the showdown that's going to ensue at the end here with all the followers, and everything is so good. That's one of the things that I am glad I stuck around for, because the whole end of the movie really works with Nyx being resurrected. I mean, the sequence where Butterfield is reviving Nyx and taking the bolts out of his flesh and bone that were holding the binding thing on him. That's a masterwork moment, because Famke Janssen she can't move. She's so paralyzed by fear while this scene is happening, because she's the grown-up girl. She's the girl that shot Nyx. Now she's all grown up. She knows that Nyx is going to want to kill her now that he's coming back. She's hiding her eyes, and she can't look away. She can't move. And they just keep returning to her hiding her eyes 6 times or something. It's really, really cool. That, to me, is the best scene in the movie, is just the fear and just the anticipation of what Nyx is going to be like.
Listen, you got everything you want. You don't need me.
No, but he will. After what you did to him. The one vengeance.
He's coming home. He's with us.
That whole sequence, with Famke Janssen, the thing that really got me was him having his followers kneel on the broken glass.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, they smash a bunch of bottles, and Butterfield is like, will you return to him on your knees? And they're like, well, yeah, we've already started shaving our head with straight razors and cutting ourselves, so of course they're going to crawl on glass. Of course, the joke's on them, because once Nix is revived, and he looks a little worse for wear.
It kind of reminded me of Jeffrey Combs.
In which movie, sir?
From Beyond.
Yes. So aside from almost having the pineal gland come out of his forehead like Jeffrey Combs, it doesn't really go anywhere. It's just a butthole on his head.
Basically said, look at me, I'm an asshole.
I just lost my mind. I think Clive Barker's like, hey, let's put a butthole in the movie. Bam, they did it. That's Barker bending the minds of innocent people with buttholes. For some reason, D'Amour can fight Nix, and there's a showdown. Oh, God. Evil's vanquished? Butterfield's face explodes. And then Nix turns into a bigger monster with lots of little spiky things coming out of him. He turns into a creature, and Scott Bakula pushes him down a hole.
And, Scott Bakula and Famke Janssen live happily ever after, or until, Scott goes back to New York and forgets that Famke ever existed.
Oh, my God. No one forgets Famke. Okay, Scott. Oh, my God. Tell me anything. Tell me something about this movie so I don't lose my mind.
Well,
do you like it?
Fucking love it.
Yes.
Like I said earlier, I think it's Clive Barker's best film. And it's funny, it came out on Blu-ray around the same time that they did their special show, Nightbreed. And Nightbreed, going back, because I rented it like twice as a kid, so I didn't watch it as much as you did, but I had memories of it, and I thought, okay, well, it's a good movie and they're going to make it even gooder. And I was just like, no. The stuff at Midian was cool. It looked kind of like a Fellini film gone horror, and those bits. But it had this kind of, I'm going to say early on, it kind of was like, God, it had this Blade Runner of horror vibe, the film noir and all that. I'm not going to say it's on the level of Blade Runner because fuck, it's nowhere. But but it was a lot of fun. The effects in the film were great. I mean, you have guys like Steve Johnson and K&B working on it. Steve Johnson did stuff like Night of the Demons, K&B, Evil Dead 2, Day of the Dead. Now they're doing the fucking Walking Dead, which is like the least cool thing they could possibly do.
I like it.
Yeah, fuck it. Gary Tunnicliffe, who's gone on to do stuff like Gone Girl, he's sold out too, whatever. The soundtrack, is done by Simon Boswell.
Oh, yeah.
And he's done, Demons 2, The Church, Hardware for Richard Stanley.
He did Delirium, Photos of Joya.
Ah, yes, he did. So, he covers a lot of ground that we kind of dig, around these parts. I think Lord of Illusion was underrated. And like I was telling you earlier, like I didn't see this when it first came out because I thought it was the fucking Saint with Val Kilmer. They had the same typography and design the posters. So because of fucking Val Kilmer, I did not see the last Clive Barker movie. And that's the sad thing, by the way. Apparently, his experience making this movie, and I'm going to blame Val Kilmer even though he wasn't in the movie, caused him to never go back to Hollywood in the director's chair.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he has his own film company, and he's producing like his own shorts based on like Dread and Midnight Meat Train and stuff like that, but no more Clive Barker movies. So basically, if you want to see Clive Barker's complete discography, you have two weird-ass short films from the 70s. One of them has Doug Bradley in it, so if you're a Hellraiser completist, and I hope you're not, you have that as an option. Doug Bradley before he was Pinhead.
Yep.
And then Hellraiser, Nightbreed, and Lord of Illusions. And it's like, fuck, is that really all? You know, that's it.
Yep. Now he's a painter.
Painter and author. Cigar smoker.
Oh, definitely. That's where my voice is headed. Man, I hated this movie. I enjoyed the experience of watching it. I've already put the DVD in the donation bin. It's pretty fast turnaround for me. I respect the weirdness. I respect the broken vibe. And I like movies that try too hard, but only when they're under 2 hours. There's no relatable character in this.
You didn't relate to Bakula?
Not at all. Not at all. I thought the fact that he was haunted by this stupid exorcism thing that was hanging over him was terrible. Couldn't get into it. I started to think about how the movie could be structured better during the movie. Like, I had a serious idea of how I would adapt this movie, like how I'd remake this movie.
Out of curiosity, how would you do that?
Famke Janssen would be the central character. She would not remember what had happened to her as a kid. She sort of doesn't in the movie anyway, but I'd cut Swan out completely, just cut him out. And she's being haunted, or hunted rather, by all the, cult members.
Yeah.
And then she would hire D'Amour to protect her / investigate. And then it would turn out that he was a secret member of the cult and guiding her to Nyx the whole time. And basically, the beginning and the end of the movie I'd leave completely untouched. Except make her, because she was the one or whatever, quote unquote. Anyway.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I would do. And a lean 140 minutes. Not 140 minutes, hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, no, that's...
I thought that would be better.
Yeah, no, I respect movies that are long, if they can play the running time well. I just watched the Eureka Blu-ray of Bertolucci's 1900.
Mm-hmm.
5 fucking hours long.
Yeah.
And it took me about a week.
And it only cost you several years off your life, I'm sure.
You know what? It's funny. I've wanted to see that movie for years, and it's good.
Yeah.
What's her name from Suspiria is in it? The friend.
Oh yeah. Oh God.
God. Now I've got to totally look her up. She was in another Giallo. It's in the Giallo box actually.
Oh shit. Yeah, you look that up. I have 2 more notes. 2 more things I wanted to say. I felt a big David Lynch influence with this. I felt like he had watched what was it? Wild at Heart and the Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, and kind of got fired up because this movie made me think of 2 things. 1, it made me think of Lost Highway, and 2, it made me think of Michele Soave's The Sect for some reason, which I love. The Sect.
Oh yeah. Stefania Cassini.
That's it. Yeah, I like her.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, Scott, thank you for picking it. I'm sorry I didn't like it or love it.
Who cares, man? It's one of those things. If we all like the same shit, it'd be boring.
I just feel bad. I've never had someone pick a movie for the show, and then I just went off on it.
Well, it's not like you went off on it, man.
Well, I definitely enjoyed the ride because it got so bad. After Boarding House, anything's good.
Oh, man.
Talking to you, Jeffrey Canino.
I haven't seen Boarding House since middle school.
Oh my God. I'm surprised you are still alive after that experience. You were too young, sir.
All the crap that I've watched, Redneck's on, man.
Wow. I'm so sorry for you. Folks, I hear an echo in the background on my end, so we're going to take a quick break and maybe we'll listen to some of Simon Boswell's music for this film. And we're going to talk about something very near and dear to our hearts. So stick around. Okay, folks, we are back. not too long ago. Was it last year? Has it been a year yet,
It's
Scott?
been well over a year, man. I think December 2015.
Wow. Okay, so I don't know how to track time. We started doing something called Movie Party Crew. What are you doing? Are you eating candy?
Opening the Witch.
Oh, Scott opens movies. Let's listen.
Okay, sorry, man.
Scott came up with an idea of having a live tweet event where we all pick a film, and at the end of every month, so this is the last Saturday of every month, we have a film all picked out. We get it all queued up, and at the stroke of midnight for me, midnight, that's Eastern Standard Time. I think it's 11.
11 in Central.
In Texas time.
Yeah.
And we encourage folks who enjoy usually Euro horror, but we've done some slashers. We've done some Attack of the Mutated Rat movies.
Still in the Eurozone.
Exactly. And so here's a pro tip for joining Movie Party Crew. First, you should already be following at EuroCultAV on Twitter. And you should then be following at Doomed Moviethon at Twitter. And so find out from the Facebook page or check out our hashtag Movie Party Crew on good old Twitter. And then next month, so this episode will probably have aired way after we've already done this, but we're going to do Zombie Holocaust. And we'll give you a special code for the hashtag. We think of a hashtag ahead of time. At the time of this recording, we just did Case of the Bloody Iris.
I still want to say curse. I can't ever shake that out of my head. Curse of the Bloody Iris.
If you have a bloody iris, it's truly a curse.
Yes.
But we did hashtag Fennec. I always mess up her name. We did hashtag Fennec Sex Cult. And it was a rousing success, as every Movie Party Crew is every month. So what you do is, near the stroke of midnight, or whatever your time zone dictates for midnight Eastern Standard Time, have the movie already in. You've already hit play, but right before even the 1 second mark, you pause that movie. And then right at the stroke of, well, whatever you want to stroke it at, hit play and then tweet along with us. We would love to have you because we have a blast.
It's like the friends you don't actually have watching the movies that, they don't want to watch with you.
You show Euro horror to people and they're usually just slack-jawed, and it's so much fun to drop people who don't normally watch that kind of stuff into that situation. But it's even more fun to throw on, let's see, I don't know, Demons. And watch Demons with a bunch of people who love Demons, and we can all react to it and heckle it and have fun with it at the same time. So
right.
A lot of times we're all racing to make the same joke, which I think is funny.
And that's the thing, it's just a bunch of friends that are all over the world, all over the country, just getting together to watch some weird and cool movie, at the same time.
Yep. We had some major revelations. What was the film that you didn't think that much of until Movie Party Crew?
Anthropophagus. I can't fucking say it.
Anthropophagus. Oh, now you got me doing it. Brad and I did an episode on it. I can't fucking say it now.
Anthropophagus.
There you go. Yes. Anthropophagus, Anthropapadopoulos.
Anthropop sausages.
Oh, I wish. My sausage just popped. I mean, no, it didn't. Yuck. You were like, I don't even know if I like that movie. And then afterwards, you're like, oh man, everything's changed.
I've got the Blu-ray on my shelf right now.
Nice. Very nice. So yeah, we had a blast with that. And yeah, more to come. We've got the summer all planned out.
Okay, what's June?
Oh God. My memory is amazing.
July is Riccio.
Yes. Okay. May is good old,
Zombie Holocaust.
thing I already mentioned. June. Damn it.
All the hard questions.
If I had my email open, I could do it, but I'm terrible. Yes, I'm so excited. I hope a lot of people have Riccio, Story of Ricky, because man, that's going to be so much fun. That's our first Asian film, I think.
No, it totally is.
Nice. Well, it'll also be our last because you can't top that.
Well, we got to do that Ringu versus Ju-on thing.
Oh, yes. That's going to be so much fun. Even if it's terrible, it's going to be fun.
Okay, so, potential movie party crewers. If you are following us right now, May is Zombie Holocaust, but you know that because you're listening right now. June is Lucio Fulci's Secret Masterpiece. I have to bite my tongue. Enigma.
Yes!
July is the ultra-violent Kung Fu Fest, Riccio, the story of Ricky. And August is Paul Nash's second appearance in Movie Party Crew, Horror Rises from the Tomb.
Oh my god, dude. It's going to be so quiet during that because we're just going to be staring at our TVs in awe.
Of the Nosh.
Because we did Werewolf Shadow, and that was fantastic.
We had some pretty good tweets going on for Werewolf Shadow, so...
just to give you an idea of how we started this whole thing, the first movie was Pieces? Oh.
Yes.
And I would, one day we should just do Pieces again, because it was so wonderful.
You can't top Pieces. Honestly, I love Pieces. It's one of my favorite Italian horror movies. I mean, like, European horror movies ever, right?
Right.
And, I thought it was just a great movie, just in general. And then, about 2 years ago, right before the Movie Party Crew thing took off, I saw it at a film festival with an audience. And it was the best screening I've ever been to in my life. I mean, this audience got the film. They were laughing in the right places. They were screaming in the right... It was just a shitload of fun.
Nice.
And that's the thing about Pieces. It's almost like the perfect audience film. So just, even live tweeting it, it's like a bunch of people get together to talk about, just tweet this movie. It's perfect for that.
Oh, yeah.
I can't think of a better movie. I mean, maybe Demons. Demons is like a close second.
Yeah. Bloody Moon wasn't too bad. That was
Bloody
good.
Moon was great. Honestly, I don't think we've had a real stinker in this lot.
No. I think I missed one. Did I miss two? Or I know I missed.
You missed Rats?
Yeah, I was
Rats.
not in town, so I missed Rats.
Did you watch it for penance?
Did I what?
Did you watch it for penance to make?
No, I've still never seen it.
You need to see that, dude. You would love it.
I will. Oh man, Burial Ground was amazing.
Oh, Burial Ground. This cloth. It smells of death.
So yeah, shout out to Shane and shout out to Brad, who has participated.
And Elizabeth, so.
And Elizabeth, she kept it real.
But Brad, you need a Twitter.
I'm telling you, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
And Simon, wake up at 6 a.m. and join us.
Oh man, we're a tough sell to the English crowd, but we'll get them.
I mean, if they could popularize the midnight movie, we can popularize the 6 a.m. in the UK movie.
I believe Sparkle City Phil showed up for.
Oh my God, that guy.
Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah.
He's like, man, you guys are going to make me dig out this movie. And that's when I realized he wasn't
watching it.
That's cheating. But
he tweeted with us for an hour and a half.
But you know what? That's fine. We totally will accept people who are just like, what are you guys doing?
Well, the Burial Ground guy.
Yeah. Oh, I can't remember who it was.
No, is this someone we didn't even know? He just started tweeting along.
Hey, what are you guys doing? Oh, Tyler has joined in as well. So
Tyler Miller, yeah.
What's really funny is I just imagine like people muting me on Twitter, like, yeah, I follow that guy Richard. I have no idea what the hell's going on at the end of every month.
It's like he gets on a horror period.
He tweets 4 times a month until the last Saturday, and then he tweets 1,000 times. So we decided, Scott came up with this brilliant idea. I wish I could take credit for it, to take the spirit of Movie Party Crew and do something that is kind of a disappearing art form, if you will, and that is the capsule movie review book. Now, what are some of the capsule movie review books that inspired your idea, Scott?
The Scarecrow Movie Guide, Video Hounds, Cult Flicks and Trash Picks, their horror book.
Yes. I have that
Psychotronic movie guide, things
that
like
one
that.
too, yeah.
You know, these books are about 10, 20 years old, and I read them and I disagree with them, and I check mark the ones I've seen. You know, it's like now those books are starting to fall apart because I've read them so many times that I've seen most of the movies.
Yep.
But they're out of print. You can probably buy the Cult Flicks book for about 50 cents on Amazon right now.
Exactly. And so we wanted to bring a new perspective to an old format, and we're going to have short capsule reviews. We're going to have a rating system, and essays in the book. We're going to have a actual checkbox, an empty checkbox next to each film, so you can conveniently check off after you've seen a movie. And we're going to pull in all of our writing buds, all of our blogger friends and horror movie crazies, and we're going to put this book together, and it's going to be the Movie Party Crew book. Have we decided on a title yet? Have we confirmed?
No, I think we almost had a title.
Yeah.
I can't, but it's basically the Movie Party Crew Guide to Horror Films.
Yeah, we're going to go back and forth on the title. Probably that'll be the one thing we really fight about. Will be the specific wording of the title.
And we've been slowly putting reviews together for the book. We have friends that have contributed quite a few reviews, some that have contributed here and there, but it's been coming together slowly because we've been, busy with all our other projects. But overall, we're going to put this together in the next year. We're going to put it up in the Kindle store, and you'll be able to get digital copies. You'll be able to, print on demand. And the interesting thing is, because we've got all our blogger friends and website friends writing for this thing, we feel like, that it would be like unfair of us to take profit from it. Exactly. So we're going to donate all the proceeds to a film charity that hasn't been entirely decided yet.
Yeah, so the once the book is done, we're gonna market the shit out of it, and it's all for a good cause for film preservation. So it might cost a few extra bucks, but you'll be doing something good. We'll be really super upfront with the charities we pick. I know Scott has one in mind already, and we will be no bullshit. We're just gonna take every penny that comes back to us and put it right back into something good. So
exactly. I mean, if there's like 12 of us writing, it's like
yeah, we'll be fighting over those pennies, but no, so
exactly.
So we'll be collecting all that cash, and hopefully it'll become a big thing, and we'll do multiple volumes, and it'll be wonderful.
And so look up Movie Party Crew on Facebook.
Yeah.
Get the hashtag in the next couple of weeks. Follow us for Zombie Holocaust.
Oh, yeah.
Or Enigma or Riccio. Just hang out, it's fun.
And if you don't feel like
tweeting,
sending 700 tweets to us, just let us know you're there, and or go on the Facebook page and give a shout out there. We're going to develop a Facebook contingent. Sometimes I get a little too wrapped up in composing that, perfect tweet. I think if Movie Party Crew really takes off, it'll just ruin Twitter for everyone.
I've been waiting for the year plus we've been doing this for us to get enough people to do this to where our hashtag starts trending.
Yes.
fetish sex cult.
We bogarted something. One of our hashtags was already a thing. We just totally bogarted it for a night. I can't remember which.
No, I can't.
There was something I looked up and I went, what is this a hashtag for? I can't remember.
Right.
It was, we probably drove someone to suicide, and that's not what we're about anymore. No. We started out doing that.
Jesus was to drive people to suicide?
Shh. Of course not.
I do remember that when we were doing pieces, we were going to do a double with Graduation Day, but we never got to that.
Well, we did throw on Demons 2 that night when I was feeling really awake.
Oh man, I was feeling dead. I was just like, I was almost angry at Demons 2. I was so tired. I'm not a big Demons 2 fan to begin with, and then I was coupled with, I'm fucking exhausted. Die, movie, die.
I actually, I loved Demons 2 as a kid, and just being that tired after, it's 1:30, 1:40 in the morning when I even started Demons 2, I now have an even healthier appreciation because I loved it all over again.
Demons. I don't think there's any way I could ever possibly hate the original.
Oh, no, of course.
You could Clockwork Orange me to a fucking chair, eyes open, force me to watch it 24 hours straight. On the 26th hour, I'll be like, yep, keep it going.
Yep, let's do it.
Give me more of that pimp.
Well, Scott, thanks for joining me, and thanks for picking Lord of Illusions.
All right. Well, I'm sorry you didn't like it, but maybe the next time, you know.
Hey, it's going to Goodwill or some other charity, so some kid...
Some poor fucker.
Some kid will be like, this is the movie that speaks to me. I already have the gold snakeskin pants.
You might have flew the next Chris Angel.
Oh, I hope so. Or the last Chris Angel, whichever.
Chris Angel has a stack of 50 fucking Lord of Illusions DVDs.
Man, he has a couch made out of them.
Did you see that guy that collects like speed VHS tapes?
What does he collect?
Speed VHS tapes. He's got like 1,000 of them. He wants to collect every one that still exists.
Oh my god.
Speed.
Just build a house out of it. Why not?
Right. It's like, why? Speed sucked.
If he lived in Alaska, he could make a speed glue. Oh. Good night, folks. Thanks for listening.
Talk to you later, man.
Later.
Hello, This is the Doomed Show is available at hellodoomshow.podomatic.com. For the old episodes, check out the archives at doomedmoviethon.com. To contact the show, email us at doomedmoviethon@gmail.com or at doomedmoviethon on Twitter. For more Doomed Moviethon goodness, also visit cinemasomnambulist.com.
Did you ever see a film at such a young age it left you traumatized with cinematic wounds? Necrophilia. It's a dead issue, man. Don't push it. Cinema Psyops is a weekly podcast documenting an ongoing experiment on the mind of an unwilling test subject.
No one should have to watch this movie.
Oh, no one should have to watch this?
No one should have to watch this movie.
Surprisingly, it's not a topic that a lot of people really want to tackle.
I'm shocked, prudes.
I know, really.
Right?
It's the next sexual frontier that no one wants to explore.
I am, in the most sincerest of senses, disappointed in you.
It takes a powerful goddess like Connie, jam her arm down the monster's throat and kill it. Oh, I'm still tripping out over that. Even as a kid, I was like, I gotta find a girl like that. Every week, I get a new look of disappointment that I never thought I could get out of.
Unimaginable. At 12 years old, you should not be watching this movie.
Obviously.
At 13, you should not be. 14, you shouldn't be. I'm not entirely sure even 17-year-olds should be watching this movie.
Just because you're offended by something doesn't mean that you have the right to demand that it doesn't exist. Watching this film again, I had all of this like little nerd glee with everything that kept
little
popping
history
up.
doll popping up
absolutely.
at you.
So I totally loved this film.
Hey, I know why you couldn't see that. It's because your brain's warped from watching this shit at 12 years old.
Yeah, this is a rough movie. I told you ahead of time when we were getting ready to do it that it was.
How
could
you watch this shit at 12?
Because physical wounds heal, cinematic ones don't. Listen to Cinema Psyops.
Well, hello, my dear friends. I am Baron Martino, and when I am not in Italy murdering beautiful fashion models, I enjoy hosting a little show called The Giallo Room. Giallo is basically the Italian word for yellow that often referred to cheap mystery novels with yellow covers published by Mondadori in the early 1900s. However, it later became the namesake of a notorious genre of films that peaked in the early 70s after Mario Bava, Dario Argento, Lucio Fulci, Sergio Martino, and many other talented Italian filmmakers introduced audiences to a new style of film that incorporated ornate cinematography, a pulsating soundtrack, beautiful female victims, and a black love killer, all together with a thrilling twist ending. Join me, won't you, as I share my unhealthy obsession of Giallo with you all in the Giallo Room. You can find the Jollo Room at youtube.com/c/The Jollo Room Show and facebook.com/The Jollo Room, as well as your closest participating adult film store. As always, my friends, grazie.